Little history made last weekend in the Glass Bowl. We welcome in Pete Seymour from the Rocket Radio Network. Pete, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, Mark. Appreciate it.
It was just a matter of time. Jason Candle came into this season tied with Gary Pinkel for the most wins in Toledo Rocket football history. With the victory over Western Kentucky, he is now all alone atop that leaderboard.
It's pretty impressive, isn't it? And Mark, I want to start off with this story because obviously as a head coach, you think a lot about wins, losses, schemes, and everything else. But there's obviously a huge human side to every football coach. And it's a story from a few years ago. I think he'd be happy I'm telling it right now because I gained so much respect for Jason Candle. And it was after a really tough loss to Middle Tennessee State in the Bahamas Bowl. And our plane was delayed about 2.5 hours. We were coming back from the Bahamas to 30 degrees in Toledo, and we're getting off the plane. It's 3:30, almost 4 in the morning, and us, just the radio crew, you know, he let everybody else off that plane. The last person to go through customs, the last person to get off the plane was Jason Candle and his family. And walking by him with his wife and his children in his arms, it just brought a lot of humility to me, saying, wow, there is so much more outside of this game than what we see. And that moment has always stuck with me to this day. Again, Coach Candle has been nothing but great to me, his staff. I can't believe in this day in college football that he's kept these guys for so long, even some coaches coming back to the program. It just really tells the story of what kind of a human he is and what kind of a coach he is.
Yeah, Mike O'Brien, the man who hired Jason Candle, and that's proved to be a fantastic hire. And I don't think it's much of a secret that we've seen Jason Candle grow as a man, as a father, as a coach in his time at Toledo, because we sometimes forget how young he was when he came to the Glass City.
I know, and I'm so glad you said that, because that's one thing that really took me back is how long he's been with this program as the offensive coordinator and just moving up in those ranks. And the other really cool thing, Mark, is seeing all the videos come out this past week of former coaches, current players, former players, and the impact that he has just not made on the people around him, but people from years ago that still remember him for the person who he is. And obviously we look at him for the wins and losses, but again, the human side is really fun to look at it when it comes to a really good person.
Coming off a huge win over Western Kentucky, certainly a year ago, a much different game between the Hilltoppers and the Rockets. We thought this was going to be a close game, but UT set the tone in the first 5 minutes of that game.
And I'll tell you, Mark, down on the side of that, I don't want to say there was a different energy, but boy, was it a focused energy. Every position group was locked in from the kickoff, and obviously they were thinking revenge from last year. We definitely weren't expecting that outcome, but the way that Toledo established a line of scrimmage, established that running game, early in the game, early in the first quarter, got out to a big lead, and then we're able to see some other guys and experiment with a few other things. Definitely something I wasn't expecting from a Western Kentucky offense that was averaging almost 400 yards per game, and their quarterback who had thrown for over 700 in the first 2 weeks of the year. Yeah, not something we were expecting, but a statement win this past week.
And the defense really leading the way. Two forced fumble and then the pick six in that first quarter as the Rocket defense set up the offense, and that game was over with basically in that first quarter.
Absolutely. And number one, I have to give a lot of credit to a group that maybe I don't want to say knocked, but didn't talk so highly of a few weeks ago against Kentucky, and that's the defensive line. The defensive line this week, my gosh, the trenches were controlled by Toledo offensively and defensively. Of course, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, guy we spoke about last week, first career touchdown interception. That was a massive play. But yeah, from the beginning of the game, Mark, the momentum was just on Toledo's side. Even being out there in the coin toss, hearing Tucker Gleason said, we'll defer, let us be on defense, you know the tone was set there.
Chip Tranum was named the MAC Offensive Player of the Week as the Rocket running back, 160-some yards, 3 touchdowns. Of course, this is his fourth stop. Started off as a linebacker at Arizona State, transferred to Ohio State to be a running back, then transferred to Kentucky. Did not work out with the Wildcats, but now here in Toledo, one of the things he spoke about was he finally has a feeling of being at home. He's finally got coaches who believe in him.
Absolutely, and when I was able to catch up with him earlier this year, Mark, that's exactly what he said. He said, I stepped on this campus and was accepted, and I had a full amount of confidence behind me, whether it's from teammates, whether it's from coaches, and he really showed out this week. 3 touchdown game for him, first ever receiving touchdown for him. And another guy I need to touch on, who we saw a little bit in that second half, but a great complimentary back, Kenji Christian. My goodness, started his career at Virginia Tech, came from North Carolina A&T, fought through some injuries. That man doesn't go down easy. He's not the biggest man in the entire world, but you've compare him with a guy like Chip Trayanum, and my goodness, he is speedy, he is quick, and like I said, he does not go down easy for the running back that he is.
A little bit of a scary moment in that second quarter, and Rocket quarterback Tucker Gleason left the game, did not return in the second half to play, was on the sidelines in the second half, was in good spirits on the sidelines, so it certainly looks like that lower leg injury is not something that's going to be a long-term situation.
No, and we'll find out more, obviously, as this week progresses and the opponent coming in this week. I don't see Tucker, I won't say not having a reason to play, but I'd like to see John Allen Richter this week. And no knock to Tucker, I think he's going to be absolutely fine moving forward, being down on the sidelines. He was on the bike. I had kind of given him the nod and a thumbs up, and he gave me a big smile and just said, we're good, man. So I'd like to see Tucker, maybe not this week, but as the coming weeks, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, if you're comparing your tattoos with the cameraman's tattoo on the sideline, probably a good sign that you're doing okay. As you alluded to, Pete, the opponent this week is going to be an overmatched opponent. Morgan State, an 0-2 FCS team. This is a game that the Rockets need to come out of healthy, need to come out with a win, and maybe rest some guys as you start to go into MAC play.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the second half of Western Kentucky, we got to see some of those backups get in the game. And you know as well as anybody, Mark, having that experience this time in the year, then with that next man up mentality, God forbid an injury does happen along the line, you have guys up ready to go. But again, Morgan State, good football team, very athletic football team, and you know Coach Candle and his group will have these guys prepared, and either way, they still have to go out and handle business come Saturday.
And you can, of course, catch that game Saturday. That'll be an ESPN Plus broadcast. You'll have to stream that one. For Pete Seymour, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Mark. Go Rockets.